Here we are, guys, we're at Nantwich, we are at the PPG comps. We've got to get signed in, get our number and get pitched up for the night. It's a lightning storm going on behind me right now. Here's some footage of that driving in. But yeah, tomorrow morning looks absolutely stunning to fly, so we're going to get set up and we're going to go from there. Cool, let's do it.
Welcome everybody. Thank you for coming. Welcome to British Open and National Paramotor Championships 2020.
Okay, so this is us at our first briefing that evening. We turned up, and this is to go over all the competition rules and safety regulations. It's an extensive briefing, but much needed for all the pilots involved to keep everyone safe and everyone on the ground as well. Also to reduce down any possibility of noise complaints. So I will spare you all from sitting through all of that. You will see it gets cut short by that lightning storm that was moving in on us as we first turned up. So we continued that briefing in the morning. I'd just like to note at this point, this is my first ever experience of a paramotor competition. It is a classic competition, it's not a slalom competition, this is more navigation tasks. This is from a viewpoint of someone who's been flying for just under a year at this point and entering into the club pilot class that was introduced this year. So I've tried to talk about what's going on in the competition at the time, but regardless of shooting 325 gigabytes worth of video at the competition, there's still going to be points where I'm going to need to interject my thoughts after the fact, because there's a lot going on at competition. They are long days and you do learn a lot, but it was great fun. So here's a word from Barney as to why they added the club pilot class into the competition and why it's worth considering entering into the future competitions.
Based on kind of anecdotal evidence that we're seeing a lot of new energy and new pilots coming through the clubs, through the BHPA system, new enthusiasm for the sport, and we really want to put something in there to help you guys out, to learn more than anything, to learn about competition, to learn about how to become a better pilot, because what do you do at competitions? You meet some of the top pilots in the country and you spend 4 days talking to them, watching them, learning from them, hearing from me, trying new things, the conversations you'll have over the campfire, the conversations you'll have in the marquee when you're planning. It's how I learned, and I haven't done too badly in my flying career, but I learned from coming to competitions early and picking up from some of the best pilots in the country, some of whom are in this room right now that I learned from. So very welcome. Please do not ever feel like you can't put your hand up and ask a question. We are here to help you guys. The top pilots here want you to come through and challenge them in future. It makes the competition more meaningful. It keeps us on our toes as the experienced pilots. If we have new blood, new faces coming through and pushing us. And so we want you to go away from this having said, I've learned a shitload, I'm a better pilot, I have not felt unsafe at any point, but I have pushed my comfort zone in the sense of stretch, which is how we learn, and that's where what we take away from new experiences, and hopefully go away as really enthused to come back next year and fight for those podium places.
Well, so in great British weather fashion, we had to stop the briefing because one, we couldn't hear Barney, and number two, we were all getting soaking wet because it was just blowing into the tent. So we tried to put the walls up. That didn't really work, so we're going to go again for 7 in the morning because the flying window, it looks like there's a flying window in the morning. So I'm just cooking myself up some dinner on this rudimentary setup I've got here in the van because I've got petrol cans outside. I have to vent all the way through, so I've got the doors open, so I'm getting a little bit wet and some moisture inside the van. And tonight we've got tikka masala, some popcorns, some oil in the bag rice. That's some serious rain. Well, dinner is served. Right, this is the morning of the comp. And this is the day we're supposed to be flying anyway, and it's a stark contrast from what it was last night. Slept in the front of the van last night because we haven't got a bed yet, but there's people starting to mill about now. Got a brew,
briefing's in about 10 minutes, and I think they're going to send off the championship guys and some of the discovery class, and I think CP guys are flying later after a bit more of an extended brief and some task planning, so we'll be flying towards the end of the day, what it sounds like at the minute. Looking forward to it. Let's get this briefing on. So here we are back in the briefing tent, and Barney's just finishing up giving us the information that he couldn't finish last night because of the rain. And despite it being beautiful weather, the Red Arrows display team have decided to fly straight over top of the championship. So the windows for flying were held until later on in the day. But we also received our maps. The main championship was over 6 A3 sheets of paper, printed at a 1 to 66.6 recurring scale, and the CP map was on just a single sheet of A4 at a 1 to 50 scale. So a much smaller area and much more local for the club pilot class. But after all, this is supposed to be a steady introduction to what the main championship is actually like. So briefing all done. Everything's in the mindset of safety, which is good. They did a separate CP briefing for us just to say that we're going to go through everything, make it fun for us, and yeah, about to go and get registered. So I'm going to get my number for my paramotor and helmet, and then we're going to get all the CP's kit out over in the field over here in the quarantine zone, and we're going to just go over things, so looking at map boards and choice of paramotors, etc., and sort of build from the ground up. So got the gazebo set up now that it's not pissing it down, and we're just setting up tent. Chili's here, I'm here, Nigel's over here. Let's go and get registered. Hello mate.
Yeah.
Am I the last to register?
No, you're about middle of the pack.
Cool. Oh, that's alright then.
Come on forward. It's Jones, isn't it?
Daniel Jones, that's me. Cool, thank you very much.
Scribble on that. And
Yep, brilliant. Right, so we're registered. I've got my number, I'm number 15. I've got to put one on either side, well, this on the left hand side of the cage, front and back, and then this smaller number on my helmet on the left hand side. We're flying to an A4 sheet, whereas the whole competition they've got A3 sheets, about 6 of them to stick together and work to that. But the CP class, they're just limiting us to this, so we can get up and we can set some smaller tasks and get those practice. So I'm going to fab on that to the map board now. We've got our 2 trackers here and here, and then we're going to look at some kit in a minute to talk about where and what is good and what's bad. So yeah, we're getting all the CP's kit lined up here, and we're going to talk through it all.
I guess start with you guys about what kit you're flying. I think Andy's already done some work with you on checking reserves and things like that. But get you off this afternoon on a flight that's not a full task. So I'm back over. So not scored or anything, just familiarise yourselves with the area. So not prescribe any particular route for you, but to go out, and you've got the start and finish gates at either end. Get up there, see where they are, understand them, see where the no-fly zone is, probably do a loop outside of the Wollaston no-fly zone, wrap around there, and come back. But the other part of that is statistics. So what do you know at the moment about the flight characteristics of your aircraft and your setups, in terms of the speeds you can maintain at different trim settings and things like that? Because that's quite an important thing to. All of the subsequent kind of flight planning and navigation planning we could do will be hypothetical unless you're doing it with accurate stats for your speed and your machines. So I think that's probably the thing to plan to go away with today, and whether it's just one flight or you do a couple this evening. Should we just sort of work down the line so I know who's on which machine, and tell us what you're flying, what wing you're flying with it, and why you chose them? Is that you at the end?
That's me.
Neil?
A Maverick Atom 80.
Yeah.
With a Ozone Roadster 3 24. I went for that as opposed to other things because I'm a fairly lightweight person anyway, and very good reviews in terms of the Atom 80, fuel economy. You know, I'm not going to be slaloming anytime soon, so there's no need for me to be looking at anything bigger than that really. And in terms of the Roadster 3, again, very good reviews, and I think it was a good match.
It's a good all-rounder wing. The point to be made is that these competitions should be about good all-rounder wings, and some will be a bit faster, some won't be. But ones which are economical, stable for long distances, swallow turbulence quite happily.
130, so a bit of older model with fixed arms, high hang point.
Yep.
And the wing has an ozone Spider 28 meters.
Yep.
And that's what I've been flying since I trained.
And
then I got
I meant to ask Neil as well, like how many hours you've both got so far, roughly?
Around 10-ish.
10-ish.
Look at my
Just gone for a different engine, Monster 185.
Yeah.
I'm a bit of a lardy lad, so I thought I'd go a bit more what have we done on here?
I saw this string dangling and I thought, hang on, and then I saw the remove before flight tag, which
I got that one as well.
but make sure you do, although you're probably not going to start it with it.
They do not start with it. I've done it twice.
Over a day just to get that started.
What's the purpose of it? That string?
It stops it smelling.
Oh, right.
So again,
Some
propane
stink out
gear over here, so over the exhaust, up the airbox, and on the vent. And then when it's in the car, it doesn't stink.
Yeah.
So it's an absolute bonus.
I actually fly the same basic engine, Simulator 200, but the Nirvana tuned version of it, so it's different air intake, different exhaust that they put on their rodeo engine. It's actually pretty bomb-proof, that engine. It's old, but it's like the top 80. They've been going for years, and not much change. They're just great engines. And despite the, I talk about EGT and overheating. I've had that Simo now for 5 years, 6 years, must be 6, 6 or 7. And I've been flying it super lean and only just realised because I've had a fuel blockage and stuff like that, and it's been running it 20-30 degrees over recommended setting.
That's my favourite content in the Simo.
This I fly the same engine, but the Nirvana version of it, with same basic engine block and everything, but different exhaust and air intake, different carb.
I was watching 16 years ago when I was based in Russia, and with a Russian propeller.
Yeah.
Pretty sure it was a Russian propeller. Anyway,
Still the same prop from 16 years ago too. That's impressive.
Certainly quite well. This is temporarily because I'm leaving the UK. I'm going to Jordan. I'm ready with a new kit over there, so it doesn't make sense to change it here. It has this weird system of attachment.
Right. Yeah, my dad had one of these.
At that time,
years ago,
they wouldn't get certified without the ability to release your engine in midair.
Right. And then your reserves on your harness, and you get rid of the engine.
There we go. There's a picture, mate.
How many hours?
I've done about 7.
There than it's out there steep in the feet.
So yeah, good. I mean, you're all at a level which is the right point to be getting your pilot rating and
Just fill your wellies up.
flying. Do some more, hopefully. Add a few more hours on while you're here.
At the same time as going over this kit, we got to watch the main championship and Discovery class take off and go off on their first task, which I believe was a turn point hunt.
Right then, so we've just been over everyone's kit. We're now had a bit of lunch and we're heading over to the tent, and we're going to start looking at planning some nav tasks and working out our wing speeds, economy, etc, for task set tomorrow. Here's Nige. Say hello, Nige.
Hello, Nige.
Right, let's have a look at some of these nav tasks.
It's looking like it's just going to be a nice flattish afternoon with a bit of breeze and some good flying. So the point now is to have a bit of a chat about what you guys are going to do, what to be looking for when you go out, and then get you set up and go and do some flights to familiarise yourselves with the area, and come back hopefully with a bit more data that we can use to make some plans. The point is knowing how long it took you to get from A to B in a straight line, and then to turn around and follow exactly the same route in the opposite direction, and how long that time took you. And then you can work out from that what your average speed was.
So as you just heard, they've set us a little task of going up and just exploring the area and getting ourselves used to what's around. So the airfield is here, and they've just tasked us with flying around
this loop and just getting familiar with everything basically. On top of that, there's some guys here who haven't got their wing speed. I sort of planned a bit further ahead, whereas they're treating this as you've never done anything before and this is how you do comps. So they're giving us all the prep stuff that we need to do before. So really brilliant for people who have never done a comp before, and definitely it's aimed at like 10 to 20 hour pilots, and it'd be really ideal for them. No doubt they're going to give some more challenging stuff by the end of the week. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do a flight round this route here. I'm going to plan a little route hopefully, and see what the fuel burn is like on my motor, because I haven't done that yet. I've got the atom out there and I've weighed the fuel. The fuel is 7.41 kg, so we're going to weigh that tank when we get back. I'll log how long that flight took and then we can work out what the fuel burn is for it currently. Let's go out on task and see what we can do. Come on in, mate. How was your first flight of the comps?
Mate, bumpy.
Was it?
A bit of a sketchy takeoff. Norman said I nearly went turtle.
Really?
Back.
Nah.
I didn't think so. But
what, landing?
No, on takeoff. And then
I don't think so.
Started too close to here. Straight into the turbulence of the train track.
Yeah.
All the exciting bits.
Well, you did it, mate. You're back.
If it was easy, anybody would do it.
Yeah. Well done, fella.
That was top.
Alright then, so here we go. First flight of the comp. Gotta get signed in. Wings laid out.
What's name and number?
Dan and number 15.
Okay, thank you.
Is that all you need?
That's all I need, and just when you come back, let me know.
Marvellous, thank you very much. No pressure now then. So there's been reports of a lot of rotor coming off of this ridge line here. So just something to be conscious of. I think I'm going to go for an easy forward because the wind's got a few gusts and stuff. So this is the route I'm gonna fly from the airfield down and around Walston. Should take me, I've worked out with Mike Chilvers, my instructor, without working it leg by leg, it's going to take about 12 minutes 55 seconds. So we'll see what happens. Clear prop! So you're going to see a couple of launch attempts here. This first attempt, I really should have paid more attention to the wind indicators that were about, and one of them being a massive green flag in front of my face. So as you can see here, I'm pointing at pretty much a 90-degree angle to the way that flag is blowing, and at 90 degrees to that is a fence. So as I pop my wing up, it's turned 90 degrees into the wind, and there's now a fence in front of me, so that's an aborted launch. There's no shame in aborting a launch. You may have just saved yourself hundreds of pounds worth of damage if anything had potentially gone wrong, and that abort can come as soon as even before clipping into your wing. You know, I laid my wing out here, it was quite close to that fence and to that ridge that was causing the turbulence that I just mentioned, so the best idea would have been to move my wing much further back out of that danger area. And on the second attempt, we're off the ground and flying for the first time at the competition. Well, that reverse is a little bit ropey. Right, so I am heading at the moment in the wrong direction, so we can gain some height and then get out over the airfield and set our stopwatch. Alright, we're at 600 feet above ground level. There goes Nige. Let's start our stopwatches as we go over the airfield. Right, so I think I'm heading out this way. At least let's hope so. I've calculated this route for trims out. Let's find some features. Right, here's the river. I can see the river. We're going down this path here, so we want to sort of head this direction, I think. Yeah, that looks like a wiggly bit of the river. So we're looking for the hotel. I mean, that looks like the hotel. Is it really that close? Oh no, that's the farm. Bloody hell, so we need to go over this river to a bit of forest out this way. Ah, it's there. Right, so we've already cut the corner. Do you know what, I have no idea. This is so difficult to tell. Where's the airfield? There's the train track, there's the airfield. That's north, this is south. Hello, Nige! Yeah, I think I should be going this way. But it doesn't look right. So there's the airfield. Let's go straight over there. That is the farm, right? God, this is so much harder than I thought it would be. Is that the crop of trees that's on this map? I think it bloomin' is. It is! Huh. Now we've got the river, then we've got this farm here. With a road that goes through it. Yay! Then we need to go to those trees over there. Yay! Nige! Hello, mate! This is great! My track this way, and then we're going to look for a turn point up here, which is like where two roads join. You can still see the airfield over there, that's good. This map scale is like throwing me totally. I thought this was so much further away and it's really not. That's crazy. Oh, there's the two roads, I can see them joining. That's what I need to see. Right, so for all of you guys, I'm going towards this. You can see it. That'll either make a really funny video shot on this camera or it'll work on my head cam. So we're coming up to the turn point. This is cool, I like this. I've definitely blown my time of 12 minutes 55 seconds though. But here's the turn point. God, I totally didn't expect that. Alright, the next one is a train track. Ah, there's a bridge there. Is that it? Oh yeah, there's some little puddles of water. So I need to keep to the right of this puddle of water. And there's another one just... Oh yes, we're bang straight between these two puddles of water. That one there and this one over here. And then basically at that puddle of water, that little one, I'm going to turn to the right a bit more, and we're going to shoot this way towards a long bit that looks like that bit over there with some buildings behind it, which it's got. And there's a farm en route. That is accurate. Roughly it was 3 minutes 55 seconds by the time I worked out where the hell I was. So I'm going to work out what time that was when I go over the airfield again. Here's Nige. Nige is orienteering. Hello Nige, mate! Look at him down there! Woo! I'm now turning right to go over this house over here. Hopefully you guys can see that. We go down this line now. Okay, so we're now flying over the house. We're now flying over this farm here at 840 feet above the ground. And we're going to come up to this wood that's just over here. And then we dart back to the field. Final time, 18 minutes and 15 seconds. So let's reset these and try again. Here we go. There we go. Straight over to this farm. So after taking away the difference in time it took me to work out how fast you travel across an OS map, we finished that first attempt in 14 minutes and 20 seconds. We had a target of 12 minutes 55 seconds, so that makes it 1 minute and 25 seconds slow. I did go on to do a second attempt of this now that I knew how to use an OS map properly flying around, and I came back with a time of 14 minutes and 58 seconds. So that's 2 minutes and 3 seconds over the estimated target of 12 minutes and 55 seconds. Since the competition, I have set myself some declared time tasks, and using the proper calculation rather than sort of like a rough estimate, I've actually hit those points on the second that I've actually calculated. So it just goes to show that planning is key when it's in competitions. Flying is probably the easy part until it comes to spot landing and bowling landing, as we're about to find out. But first, here's a clip of something that's worthwhile keeping in the front of your mind if you're flying at a competition, and in general anyway. Always got to keep a good lookout. We've got someone over here on our 11 o'clock. Quite simply because everyone's navving by map. They should be looking up, but there's every chance that they're not. And with that being said, we're about to run into a few problems. Oh no, you don't. Oh, engine out! No, not here. Nah, come on. Prime that bad boy. Oh, we're lucky. We're lucky. Woo! We're gaining some height. We're gaining height. Right. I'm going to get back to the airfield and check out why I had that issue. That's not good. Got plenty of fuel. 5 litres, I think. Total flight time's just gone over an hour. Okay, we can't let it idle. We're gonna have another engine out. So we just need to do a bit of a tune. Could be a lot worse. Just like trying to baby this motor home. See a Michael light on the field as he launching. Right, whilst we're still here, I'm gonna trim in. We've definitely got, oh! Yeah, there we go. Oh! No. Yeah, we got something. No, that's it. We are on final approach now. Regardless of what happens, let's sort this out. The wind's up soon. Luckily, I managed to nurse the Paramotor back to the airfield, albeit a busy one at this point in time. There was a microlight taxiing in, pilots ready to take off, and they were running a spot landing competition at the same time as well. As you can see below me here, this is Danny Kettle coming in for his spot landing. My main priority now is just to get down safely on the ground and find out what's wrong with this engine. Although I might have had a cheeky go at the spot landing, and they probably thought, what the hell's this guy doing? Luckily they're a friendly bunch and I didn't get bollocking. Engine out! Well, after a successful return from an engine out, and we've just tuned with thanks to Chile, engine's running much better again. It's got barely any hours on it, so it's going to fluctuate, so we need to do that semi-regularly just to keep it running nicely until it's properly running. They say it settles down about 30 hours, so that's fine. We were safe and we got back to the airfield, that's all good. At the moment they're doing a spot landing competition. They are doing a Skittle competition where they've got to knock down as many Skittles as they can. So let's have a quick look at that, shall we? A perfect example from Paul Martin there, but as you can see from other pilots' attempts, it's easier said than done. Unfortunately, I didn't catch much footage of this because I was dealing with my engine problem. However, for those of you that are interested in what my fuel burn actually was, over that hour and 10-minute flight, my fuel burn averaged out at 2.86 litres an hour. Not bad. Not many people scored too many points on the old Skittles drop task. But that's just the way it goes, you know. It's a very skilled manoeuvre there. They haven't put it on for the Discovery or the CP pilots for obvious reasons that you're doing. A swoop landing quite close to the ground is a recipe for disaster. Anyway, we're now going in for a brief briefing, because briefings can be a little bit long, but safety is key here, and Barney Townsend is doing an amazing job, and the rest of the marshals, to keep everyone safe and flying the next day, and that's the overall, you know, game changer. So heading into the tent now, gonna go for that briefing, then we get some food on, and I'll talk about the day.
Well done today, fantastic day. We've had 4 available hours window of navigation flying time. I'm very pleased to announce that we have a valid championship. Hey.
So what Barney has just mentioned there is that they've reached the amount of hours required to make it a valid competition. Barney then continued on to outline the flying window for the next day for the championship. so they could pre-plan their tasks they wanted to attempt the next day. He also thanked everyone for their safe flying and also the marshals for their help as well. And then did a bit of a smaller briefing for the club pilot class just after to outline what we were going to do tomorrow.
Great day again, guys. I'm glad you got flying in the end of the day. Sorry there wasn't more flying, but I mean, from our perspective, we want to make sure that we've settled you in properly and we're not rushing you into anything. Some of you have done more flying, some of you have done less. But without spending much longer getting into the detail of planning for navigation, the one that you don't really need to plan for is the snake task. So let's capitalise on a nice calm morning first thing tomorrow.
So I don't know how these briefing sound bites are turning out at the minute. Basically, the competition pilots are going to be off flying at 7 in the morning, and then they're going to have a little bit more of a briefing with us after that, and then we'll be setting off around 8ish. And what Barney said is that we, as the CP class, will be doing a snake task. Essentially, there'll be a set of turn points that we have to follow and remain in a corridor between those to the points, basically all the way around. If you go out of it, you'd score less points. So yeah, he's going to give us a new map tomorrow with that marked on for us to plan and have a go at that. It's not something that requires a lot of planning, it's more the fact that you look at where the key features are on the map and follow those as religiously as you can. Whereas like the other tasks, such as the declared task, you have to declare what time you're going to get to those points, and I think we may have one of those tasks maybe tomorrow, and then we're going to play it by ear what happens with the exam, whether that's tomorrow or Saturday. Today as a whole has been, yeah, really good. It's been a busy one. I can see how the competition pilots are constantly go. They're like thinking about what they've got to do and planning tasks, which keeps you on your feet and makes you a better pilot. For us guys, I only had one flight, 3 engine outs, which wasn't good. Didn't land out until we got back to the field, as you guys probably would have just seen. From that, we have tweaked my motor just to richen it off a little bit. It's still being run in on a 50-to-1 mix anyway, so it's going to fluctuate a little bit and we'll get that sorted out. But yeah, it's been really good. It was cool to fly with the map. It was very different to what I expected it to be in terms of getting to the features on the map really quickly, but that's okay. I got around that and then was following it absolutely fine. You can see where you're going. It's really cool. So really looking forward to the snake task tomorrow, and I think we're going to start scoring that as individuals and maybe teams. But for the most part, like all the way through the CP pilot class that they've been doing, and everyone really, it's been like safety first. Barney's been overseeing and making sure that everyone's safe. There's no like adverse conditions that people are being put up into unnecessarily, and yeah, it's just been a really good fun environment, even talking to the comp pilots and the Discovery pilots as well, just talking about what they're doing and how well they've done or what hasn't gone right for them. It's been good. Just going back to engine outs, I had an engine out today. Blaze and Jack also had an engine out today. Paul also had an engine out today. So today has been the day, and hopefully tomorrow will be a much cleaner day for everyone and we'll get on and enjoy that. So I'm going to get some kip now in the front of the van, and then yeah, if this video isn't one massive long video for you all to watch, I'll see you in the next one, but if it is, then I'll see you in like 2 seconds. Right, until we're awake again.